In this lesson, we're going to be talking about active reading, what it is, and why it counts. Close reading is a careful, detailed, sustained reading of a particular passage that attempts to understand what the text says and specifically and in detail how it goes about making its point. Active reading is performed not for a particular passage, but over the course of reading the entire text. In order to read closely, we must read actively. Passive reading is more closely linked with skim reading or scanning, whereas active reading is linked directly with close reading. You may be wondering now whether or not you read a text actively or passively. Or maybe you now recognize that you do read more passively and you're interested in learning how to read more actively. So how does one go about reading actively rather than passively? Active reading means to read a text with questions in mind while consciously looking for answers to those questions in the text itself. We should also be in the habit of reading with a pen or pencil in hand to mark the answers to those questions in the text when we find them. There is a particular method to active reading. The first step is to ask questions as you read. And if you're not really sure what kind of questions to ask of a text, see the notes on close reading where a few of these questions are provided for you to help you get started. The next step is to actually mark the passages in the text with your pen or pencil that provide or suggest an answer to one or more of those questions. Then you annotate the text by writing notes in the margins called marginal notes. This method will help you start reading more actively, which means you're becoming more fully engaged with the text, seeking answers to not only the questions the text may pose, but your own questions as well. There is no doubt about it. Actively reading a text takes more time and more work. Asking questions and writing marginal notes and annotations can slow down what used to be a very quick reading process. But there are important benefits to active reading, and you will be rewarded by putting in that time and effort by understanding more of the text. Here are a few of the benefits of active reading. The first, marking and annotating the text keeps you awake while reading. Second, it also keeps you focused on making sense of the text, what it says, but also what it means. Next, marking and annotating a text will help you find which passages require more close reading. And finally, marking and annotating the text will leave a record of relevant passages when reviewing for a test or for writing a paper. As Socrates once said, the unexamined life is not worth living. So read actively to get the most out of the text you read, which will help you learn more.